What it be like? What it be like? What's up, y'all? What's up? Mind Games Uncut podcast pop up live till we get the thing set so we can get it. If I can get a timer for set time. But right now we here, y'all. It is 7:33 a.m. in the ATL. Hope everybody's doing well. I used to say that on the podcast on Spotify. So we here, y'all, doing our thing. Hope the light is good. Um, anyway, tap the screen and let some people come in the room real quick. Let me do this. Let me do this real quick. Let me this see what we can do. Oops. Bear with me for a minute. Let's see. Man, it is raining. It is raining out here. Out in the A. It's gonna be one of those days, y'all. So it's gonna be one of those days. And what I'm trying to pull it up. Hold on. Oh, y'all, just for a second. I'm trying to pull some. So I heard they got the new I heard they got the new Black Panther. I think your boy playing what's his name? From what's the brother name from Snowfall. I think he's playing the Black Panther. That's the rumors. But we shall see, man. I'm trying to see why my volume is not okay. Okay, there we go. Don't want too loud. Let people come up in the room. So yeah, man. So we talking about why most Americans are struggling, and yeah, I mean black, white, it don't matter. I told you I'm changing my content, man. 'Cause I'm sick and tired of talking about the same thing. My thing is if we focus on talking about the same stuff, and then nobody ain't really moving the needle. What's the purpose of talking about it? And I'm gonna say this real quick. Us as Black Americans, we gotta stop being followers and be more. I'm not saying, I don't believe in that leader, like we got leaders. I'm just saying have a leader's mindset. Like, don't be a follower because somebody put something out and it's popular out there. You just don't go out there and like, okay, I'm just gonna ride with it because the rest of the black people doing it. No, no, we ain't doing all of that. But anyway, y'all, let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. So I'm gonna play this audio and then we're gonna stop it, break it down, all that good stuff. Here we go. It is better for you to leave first and to set up a soft landing for your other immediate friends and family. I'm just gonna say it because nobody else is saying it, even though we're all thinking it. The American dream is to leave America. Nearly 9 million Americans have left the country. And if there were a new state called Expatland, it would probably be more populous than Vermont, Wyoming, and Alaska combined. After all, what made citizens of the world's richest nation, once hailed as the land of the American dream, choose to leave their own homeland? Let's look at the small details in life. A supermarket bill for almost $300 for just 1 week of groceries. A retired couple has to count every penny to pay for health insurance that costs as much as their rent. A family in Chicago is teaching their children how to duck when they hear gunshots, instead of how to. And now on the video right now, they're showing all white families. Just want to say that because even they're talking about in a certain neighborhood. I'm just saying they ain't got to the black people yet. Across the street. This is no one else's business. This is our story. And if nearly 9 million Americans have left, perhaps it's time to ask again. Is staying in America still the right choice? And are we the next ones to pack our bags? Let's start exploring. Going to the supermarket is so expensive now. Before, I used to fill the trunk with groceries, but now there's only enough room to put them on the passenger seat. I just saw 2 bottles of juice for $9. The price is ridiculous. It's no longer a secret. Many Americans are complaining about rising food prices. And it's not just a subjective.
Now I'll say this though, the thing, the tariffs. That's and I was into Erickson. Yeah, he's a conservative talk show host and podcaster, but and I listen to him sometime, and I disagree with him, but I do agree with him on the tariffs. I think Trump kind of need to lay off on the tariffs because stuff is high right now. I mean, stuff that I normally buy, I'm like, come on now, like it's already a little high, but now it's higher. And we know about the gas with Iran. It is what it is. But yeah, man, stuff is high in the grocery stores, and people, let's be honest, people ain't making what they should be making. As American citizens, let's continue.
Feeling anymore. According to the latest Consumer Price Index, CPI, the cost of shopping at supermarkets has continued to rise to nearly 330 points. This is the largest increase since 2016. The American dream, which used to be a full dinner, has now become a joke on the bill. Bananas are 50 this year compared to 38 last year. Coffee has increased by up to 40% in a year and is now priced at $8.99.
What's up, Kathy?
Ground beef is currently
Peace,
priced
peace.
at $7.67, while a year ago it was only $6.77. Everything is so expensive that many Americans have to cut out a meal a day. It's no coincidence that 52% of Americans believe living abroad would be cheaper and of higher quality. They don't talk in theory. They looked at the wallet. They compare. In Mexico or Costa Rica, a family can live comfortably on 50-60% of the cost compared to the US.
That's crazy. And I know a lot of people like, well, a lot of people complain about America, and I hear a lot. I got partners who talk about this. Like, well, if you go somewhere else, you'll see we got real freedom, and we can't speak out on certain stuff because they got a lot of dictators in other countries. I get that. Then on the other hand, I hear a lot of them say, "Well, man, look, when I retire, I'm leaving the country." I hear a lot of people, a lot of friends of mine, tell me that. I tell people, I hear the term "we the best country in the world." I hear that term a lot. But how can you say that if you haven't been everywhere? I will only listen to somebody who say that. I'm talking about not just being in the military and traveling and just a person who like to travel. I'm talking about have you been to every I'm my cough my tea over. Have you been to every country, every village, every island? You know what I'm saying? Every city. No, it's nobody did that before. It's some places that we don't even know about. But yeah, that's beside the point. Like I said, if you're gonna say something like that, make sure you have been, travel the whole globe and every inch, every land mass. You know what I'm saying? Because it's some places people live. It's what is it Acapulco somewhere that these people live. All these people live like an old age and they be stress free because they kind of don't live. They kind of off the grid type. I gotta look that up, but I read about that a couple years ago. Some people don't care about technology and hey, living a nice, living in big homes and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Some people just want to live a modest, simple life. As long as they got as long as they got their health intact, that's something they worry about. Let's continue.
For some ones a month, you can rent a bright apartment and eat at restaurants a few times a week. In the US, that same amount of money would barely cover your health insurance. A woman in shared, every time I go to the supermarket, it costs at least $300, and my energy bill has increased by 70%. I earn more money than before, but I have less left at the end of the month because all my expenses have increased. In Tampa, to live comfortably, you need to earn $111,000 a year, which is unimaginable for most of my friends. Many people are.
And think about it. Well, they say Tampa because they don't have a they don't have a state tax. So, but I don't know if the federal taxes come out on how much you really make. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, because you make a certain amount, don't mean that's what you bring home. You get, what you gross is what you net, correct? So yeah, so you gotta add that in too.
To try, finally decided decisively, we're leaving. For family life, for the children, for safety and happiness. They prepared their immigration documents, researched thoroughly, and compared the cost of staying versus starting over elsewhere.
Oh yeah. Hold on. There we go.
A musician said, I used to play music 4 to 5 times a week, which was enough to live on and save.
Kathy
Now the
said,
income is
hold on.
higher.
Kathy said it's definitely expensive to live here. Gas is $5 in Cali. Oh man. Yo, and groceries are crazy expensive. We have to buy grocery bags too. Damn. And Kathy said 10 cents a bag. That's crazy, man. I tell you, boy. No, I can't even. I ain't got no words for it.
But it's still not enough to cover expenses. Inflation, housing prices, utilities, food. Everything is suffocating. I don't see a future here anymore. What I find most paradoxical is that America always prides itself on being the world's #1 economy, yet ordinary workers feel like they're losing right on their home turf. When medical bills are higher than rent, when beef becomes a luxury, people start to look beyond borders. In the US, retirement in 2025 no longer means retiring, but seems to mean retiring from steak to oatmeal. A lifetime upgrade for a lifetime of dedication. In your opinion, is this just a temporary blip or a sign that the American dream is cracking from within the kitchen? What do you think, with the money you have now, would you choose a simple dinner in the US or a full seafood meal in Mexico? And remember, the cost is just the surface. There's another nightmare that makes many Americans want to leave, even before they reach retirement age. The United States spends more on healthcare than any other country on the planet. Over 2005.
And this is why I want to touch on that real quick. When it comes to healthcare, yeah, you need your insurance and stuff like that. But one thing, this conservative white woman, she was young. This was back, I want to say, well, this is in 2020, I believe. They were talking about healthcare in America and stuff like that. She kept it real. She said, "Look, I get it. People need insurance for basic stuff, but if we would take our health more serious in this country, folks won't have to worry about going to the doctor like that. Because let me tell you something, America, when it comes to obesity and stuff like that, we are the worst at it. The way we eat is terrible. All this processed foods, all this sugar we eat, and that's why so many of us are sick. And that's why the health care is so high because most people got hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, all that stuff, stress, and the stress leads to a lot of that. But I'm just saying, a lot of stuff we eat, a lot of us ain't working out like we're supposed to. Like I tell people, I'm for the gym in a minute. I'm just doing this real fast before I hit the gym. But the thing is, man, at least 3 days out the week, y'all. You ain't gotta go to the gym. You can walk in, you can do workout from home, you can go walk at the park about 3-4 miles, and you good. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be active. In this country, we're not active. We eat a bunch of garbage, and then in the black community, don't even get me started. In the low income areas, while eating nothing but fast foods, no fruit stands, no kind of whole food stores, and then like that. Let's continue.
500 per person per year, double the OECD average. At first glance, this sounds like a health paradise. But the irony is this: Americans are the people who are most afraid of going to the doctor. From 2000 to 2019, global healthcare spending reached $8.5 trillion, equivalent to nearly 10% of the world's GDP. But in the US alone, that number is even more staggering. 20% of GDP, meaning for every dollar spent, 20 cents goes to healthcare. Americans pay twice as much as people in other wealthy countries, but the results are not at all proportionate. Every time they go to the doctor, instead of asking,
Kathy said, I'm on the treadmill for an hour while I'm working. That's what I'm talking about. That's all you got to do. You don't have to go to the gym. That's good. Hey, shout out to you, Kathy.
can my illness be cured? Americans ask, can I afford this bill? For an emergency visit that only requires a light bandage, the bill can be $3,000 and $5,000 if insurance doesn't cover it. Entering the hospital is like entering a casino. You don't know what you'll come out with, your health, or a bill that's half the price of a car. Not stopping there, many people are frustrated by the way the American healthcare system is operating. Some people even quipped, Going to the hospital in the US is like stepping into a casino. You don't know what you'll come out with.
Wow.
Or a bill worth half a car.
Hey man, and we're not gonna get into the whole thing. Read some of these comments, y'all. Y'all get the gist of the whole thing. Here goes some of the comments. and speaking of California, Kathy B, somebody said, I'm from California, working 2 jobs and homeless. I kept blaming myself and angry at myself for not being successful, but I realized it's not me, it's the economy I'm struggling in. I'm moving overseas this month. And somebody said this is a bizarre situation where 6% of the Americans have 94% of the wealth. This is this is what is drastically wrong with the system. Billionaires are crippling the world. Somebody said, I left 20 years ago. Best thing I ever did, but please don't bring your US demands and attitudes with you wherever you go. All right. Somebody said American paid most of the American paid most for healthcare and yet are the most sickest society. And that's a fact. This shit is for real, for real. That's what somebody said. As a Filipino man who migrated here, United States, America last 2019, I can really say this isn't the America I looked up to when I was a kid. Kids had a school shooting drill. Taxes is like 30% of your paycheck. No insurance, no service. Whatever you do, you got a tip. You eat. They said you eat food in restaurants, you tip. You buy food in the same restaurant, take out, you got a tip. Why? It's the restaurant's responsibility to pay their employee. Spending taxes for a different country is effed up. Somebody said Americans are welcome so long as they leave their stars and stripes at home, both mentally and physically. A little respect for other cultures go a long way. The American dream has flipped into American exodus. Millions leaving for leaving for safety, healthcare, and dignity abroad, while the U.S. sinks under chaos and greed. This 5 months ago, listen, y'all, this is recent. It's like 2025, and mainly there's a lot of white people leaving, but I'm sure a lot of black people leaving too. My cousins are retired and travel to other countries and stay 4 to 6 months, then pick up a destination, does it all over again. Wow, that's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. So they seem like they got a plan. Once prices go up, they rarely go back down again. That's facts, y'all. I remember when gas was like, what, 89 cents? You remember that, Kathy? Or even less? Isn't it ironic for Americans moving to Mexico now for a better life? That is crazy, though, especially with the cartel situation. As a Vietnamese citizen living in Vietnam, I want to clarify a few things in response to this video. First, the cost of living in Vietnam is high for most Vietnamese people, especially for white collar workers in urban areas, while it may seem cheap compared to the US. That perception ignores the reality of local wages and housing costs. Second, we are not taking anyone's job. Vietnamese professionals work hard to build their career, and we deserve respect, not stereotypes. I guess he feel like because he's a legal immigrant. Third, if you're looking to move abroad, there are many countries to consider: Japan, South Korea, Thailand, Indonesia, and others. But please don't come to Vietnam just because it seems cheap. Many Vietnamese communities, both inside the country, abroad, feel deeply disconnected from the struggles of everyday Vietnamese people. Some individuals promote foreign dreams and proudly identify with countries like the US, Australia, or the EU when they succeed, but claim to be Vietnamese only when facing legal trouble or controversy. This double standard is painful to witness. Okay, I mean, you giving us a little info on Vietnam. That's cool. That's cool. Let me see. I was born in Chicago, but grew up hearing people telling me to go back to Mexico, and that's the same type of people that are going to live in Mexico. He laughing emoji. That is funny. Somebody said I left 2 years ago and never came back. Okay. My American friends here in Europe even say that I cannot understand why people who still want to go to the US. The American dream is pure propaganda because America is not as free as many think. I, as an American, have more freedom in Europe than in the US. In addition, there is universal health care, which I'm sick. I go to the doctor and don't have to think about how to pay the hospital or doctor. The land of the free is a joke. I've been saying that for a minute too. I don't know what I say is a free country. You might have freedom of speech to a certain degree, but at the same time, ain't nothing free. If your ass ain't working and hustling, you finna be out in the streets with everybody else. That's homeless. That's a fact. People live a modest lifestyle, y'all. And that's another thing. If you're gonna continue to live in the country, and I'm not knocking America. I love this country. Yeah, and I don't have no problem with going somewhere. I tell people, because like I say, I haven't been everywhere, so I can't say this is the best place to live because I haven't been everywhere. You that guarantee you, it's hard to find somebody who been everywhere on the planet and live. It's pretty much impossible unless you're just a billionaire and got time on your hand. But the thing I'm trying to say is a lot of people live above their means in this country, man. A lot of people, especially amongst our people, live a modest lifestyle, y'all. Cut out certain things, cut off certain apps, stuff you don't use, cook like we do. We cook 2 days, we cook for like 2 to 3 days. You know what I'm saying? To save on gas, electric, and all that stuff. Cut your lights off when you're in the room. You know what I'm saying? Stop going on unnecessary trips that you really can't afford. You don't have to go shopping every time you get paid. You know what I'm saying? You can buy off-brand stuff too at the stores. You don't have to buy always high-end stuff, y'all. Just something, something to think about. And you can do staycations. You don't have to always go out of town to do a vacation. It's a lot of places in your state you ain't never been to. You know what I'm saying? So just something to think about, man. But yeah, people are struggling. People are struggling. Hey, you might have to go downsize in your home. You might have to get a smaller home. Don't go get the high-end car. Get you a reliable car and you good. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have to put their kids in private schools. You got to think about these things. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to find a partner that's on the same level you are too. Yeah, I can remember when I'm on vacation, I'm traveling. I feel you, got to be. I feel. I'm saying, like I say, if it's in the budget, rock with it. But if it's not in the budget, like a lot of people, they'll go get their taxes. They'll get like $5,000-$6,000, and then they ain't taking care of no business. Like they ain't pay no credit cards off. They didn't try to invest that money in anything. I say invest first before you go and then you take trips and stuff, because people take trips and then come home and they can barely pay their damn rent or mortgage. I seen it. They're like, they know they need to pay these bills, but they like, well, I'm finna take this trip. I deserve it. I get it, but it don't make sense, But wealthy people don't do that. That's why I like listening to Charlie Munger. Charlie Munger, check him out on YouTube. That's, he passed away now. That was Warren Buffett's best friend, man. This guy, oh my God, he breaks it down. It's funny how the rich people is the opposite of poor people. You know what I'm saying? Look at Elon Musk. Dude almost a trillionaire, like I said before. And he dressed like a regular, like a commoner. He like a regular like a peasant. I'm not saying he dressed like just poor, but he just, when we get $10,000, we're gonna dress like we got $1 million. Boy, we finna go get the chain, the most high end clothes. Can't tell us nothing. But anyway, y'all, might get up out of here. I appreciate y'all. I'll be back on a little later today. I'm just gonna be doing my pop-up lives, surprise y'all. And yeah, man, enjoy y'all day. I'm about to hit the gym. Peace.